Welcome back to the English Podcast Circle. We're diving into Chapter 6, Turn Learning into a Game. Max, why do you think gamifying your learning can be so effective?
Great question, Lena. I think it's because games tap into our natural desire for fun, competition, and rewards. When learning feels like a game, it stops being a chore and starts being something you look forward to. Plus, it's a great way to stay motivated and consistent.
Exactly. And the best part is, there are so many ways to gamify your English learning. Let's start with language learning apps. Max, do you have any favorites?
Oh, definitely. Apps like Duolingo, Memrise, and Quizlet are fantastic because they turn learning into a game. You earn points, level up, and even compete with friends. It's like playing a video game, but you're actually learning something useful.
Yes. And if you're not into apps, you can create your own challenges. For example, set a goal to learn 10 new words in a week. And if you achieve it, reward yourself with something you love like a treat, a movie night, or even a small shopping spree.
That's such a great idea, and here's another one: track your progress like it's a game. You can use a habit tracker or a simple notebook to mark off each day you practice. Seeing a streak of successful days can be incredibly motivating.
Absolutely. And don't forget about competition. If you have a friend who's also learning English, challenge each other to see who can complete a task first, like watching a video without subtitles or having a 5-minute conversation in English. The friendly rivalry can make learning way more exciting.
Yes, and here's a fun one: role-playing games. Pretend you're in a situation where you have to use English, like ordering food at a restaurant or giving a presentation at work. You can even act it out with a friend or record yourself to make it more realistic.
Love that! And if you're into creativity, you can turn vocabulary learning into a game. For example, create flashcards and time yourself to see how many you can get right in 1 minute. Or play word association games where you connect new words to things you already know.
Another idea is to reward yourself for consistency. For example, if you practice every day for a week, treat yourself to something special. It could be as simple as your favorite dessert or a relaxing evening doing something you love.
Yes, the key is to make learning enjoyable and rewarding. When it feels like a game, you're more likely to stick with it and make progress. And remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about having fun while you learn.
So, let's hear from you. What's one way you'll turn your English learning into a game? Share it in the comments and let's inspire each other.
And don't forget to grab the free resource we mentioned earlier. It includes a gamification guide with fun challenges, reward ideas, and a progress tracker to help you stay motivated.
Alright, that's it for Chapter 6. In the next chapter, we'll talk about accountability, find a study buddy, or join a community. Let's make learning a team effort.
We're diving into Chapter 7, Accountability, find a study buddy or join a community. Max, why do you think accountability is such a powerful tool for learning English?
Great question, Lena. Accountability works because it adds a layer of commitment. When you know someone else is counting on you or cheering you on, it's harder to skip your practice. It's like having a workout buddy. You're more likely to show up if someone's waiting for you.
Exactly. And it's not just about pressure, it's also about support. When you're part of a community or have a study buddy, you're not alone in your journey. You can share your struggles, celebrate your wins, and learn from each other.
Yes, and here's the thing: accountability doesn't have to be formal or intimidating. It can be as simple as telling a friend, "I'm going to learn 10 new words this week," and checking in with them at the end of the week. Just knowing someone's paying attention can keep you on track.
That's such a great point. So, how can you find a language partner or join an English learning group? Max, do you have any tips?
Absolutely. One of the easiest ways is to join online communities. There are so many Facebook groups, Reddit threads, and Discord servers dedicated to English learners. You can find people at your level, share resources, and even practice together.
Yes, and if you prefer something more structured, you can use language exchange apps like Tandem, HelloTalk, or Speaky. These apps connect you with native English speakers who are learning your language, so you can help each other out.
That's a fantastic option, and if you're more of an in-person learner, check out local meetups or language schools in your area. Many cities have English conversation clubs where you can practice speaking with others in a relaxed, supportive environment.
Love that! And don't forget about social media. Platforms like Instagram and YouTube have amazing English learning communities. You can follow teachers, join live sessions, and even connect with other learners in the comments.
Yes, and here's another idea: create your own accountability group. If you have a few friends who are also learning English, start a weekly check-in. You can share your goals, practice together, and motivate each other to keep going.
That's such a great way to stay consistent. And here's the key: share your progress. Whether it's with a study buddy, a group, or even on social media, talking about your wins and challenges keeps you motivated and accountable.
Exactly. When you share your progress, you're not just holding yourself accountable, you're also inspiring others. It's a win-win.
So, let's hear from you. How do you stay accountable in your English learning journey? Do you have a study buddy or belong to a community? Share your tips in the comments, and let's support each other.
And don't forget to grab the free resource we mentioned earlier. It includes a guide to finding language partners and communities, as well as a progress tracker to help you stay on top of your goals.
All right, that's it for Chapter 7. In the next chapter, we'll talk about embrace imperfection. It's okay to make mistakes. Let's learn how to turn mistakes into opportunities. We're diving into Chapter 8, embrace imperfection. It's okay to make mistakes. Max, why do you think so many learners are afraid of making mistakes?
Great question, Lena. I think it's because we're often taught that mistakes are bad. We worrying about being judged, sounding silly, or not being good enough, but the truth is, mistakes are a natural part of learning, especially when it comes to language.
Exactly. And here's the thing: when we let the fear of mistakes stop us from practicing, we're actually holding ourselves back. It's like saying, I won't walk until I know I won't fall. But the only way to learn is to take those first wobbly steps.
Yes, and the more you practice, the fewer mistakes you'll make over time. But here's the key: mistakes are how we learn. Every time you make a mistake, your brain is figuring out what works and what doesn't. It's like a feedback loop that helps you improve.
That's such a great way to look at it. And here's another thing: native speakers make mistakes too. Even in their own language, people mix up words, forget grammar rules, and say things that don't make sense. So, why should we hold ourselves to a higher standard?
Exactly, and here's a fun fact: mistakes can actually help you connect with others. When you're brave enough to speak, even if it's not perfect, people appreciate your effort. It shows that you're trying, and that's what really matters.
Yes, and let's not forget mistakes are memorable. When you make a mistake and someone corrects you, you're much more likely to remember the right way to say it next time. It's like your brain highlights that moment and says, okay, let's not do that again.
That's so true, and here's another important point: progress is more important than perfection. Instead of focusing on what you're doing wrong, celebrate what you're doing right. Did you have a conversation in English for the first time? That's progress. Did you learn a new word and use it correctly? That's progress.
Absolutely. And here's a tip: keep a progress journal. Write down your wins, no matter how small. Maybe you pronounced a tricky word correctly, or you understood a sentence in a movie without subtitles. Celebrate those moments, they're proof that you're improving.
Yes, and remember, everyone starts somewhere. Even the most fluent English speakers were beginners once. They made mistakes, learned from them, and kept going. And that's exactly what you're doing too.
So, let's hear from you. What's one mistake you've made while learning English, and what did you learn from it? Share it in the comments, and let's normalize making mistakes together.
And don't forget to grab the free resource we mentioned earlier. It includes a mistake tracking worksheet to help you reflect on your errors and turn them into learning opportunities.
All right, that's it for Chapter 8. In the next chapter, we'll talk about visualize your future self, why learning English matters. Let's dream big and stay motivated. We're diving into Chapter 9, visualize your future self, Why learning English matters. Max, why do you think it's so important to imagine the benefits of being fluent in English?
Great question, Lena. I think it's because when we have a clear vision of what we're working toward, it's easier to stay motivated. It's like having a destination in mind. When you're on a road trip, you know where you're going, and that keeps you moving forward.
Exactly. And when it comes to learning English, the benefits are huge. Let's start with career opportunities. Max, how do you think fluency in English can help someone's career?
Oh, it's a game changer. English is often called the global language of business. If you're fluent, you can work for international companies, attend conferences, and even relocate to English-speaking countries. It opens up so many doors.
Yes, and it's not just about big companies, even small businesses are going global these days. If you can communicate with clients or partners in English, you're instantly more valuable. Plus, many high-paying jobs require English proficiency, so it can literally boost your income.
That's such a great point, and let's not forget about travel. When you're fluent in English, traveling becomes so much easier. You can navigate airports, order food, ask for directions, and even make friends with people from all over the world.
Yes, and it's not just about convenience, it's about connection. When you speak English, you can have meaningful conversations with locals, learn about their culture, and truly immerse yourself in the experience. It makes travel so much richer.
Absolutely. And here's another benefit: personal growth. Learning English isn't just about the language, it's about expanding your mind. You'll have access to so much knowledge: books, movies, podcasts, and online courses that aren't available in your native language.
Yes, and let's not forget about confidence. When you can express yourself in another language, it's such a powerful feeling. It shows you that you're capable of learning something challenging, and that confidence spills over into other areas of your life.
That's so true, and here's the key: use this vision to stay motivated. Whenever you feel like giving up, picture your future self. Imagine yourself acing that job interview, having a conversation with a native speaker, or traveling the world with ease. That's what you're working toward.
Yes, and here's a tip: create a vision board. Write down or collect images of your goals, like a dream job, a travel destination, or a book you want to read in English. Put it somewhere you'll see every day, and let it remind you why you're putting in the effort.
That's such a great idea, and here's another one: write a letter to your future self. Describe what your life will be like when you're fluent in English. What will you be doing? How will you feel? Reading that letter later can be incredibly motivating.
Yes, and let's not forget progress is progress, no matter how small. Every word you learn, every sentence you speak, is a step closer to that future self. So, celebrate every win along the way.
So, let's hear from you. What's one benefit of learning English that excites you the most? Is it your career, travel, personal growth, or something else? Share it in the comments, and let's inspire each other.
And don't forget to grab the free resource we mentioned earlier. It includes a vision board template and a future self letter guide to help you stay focused and motivated.
All right, that's it for Chapter 9. In the next chapter, we'll talk about action plan, what to do today to stop procrastinating. Let's turn that vision into reality.
We've reached our final chapter, action plan, what to do today to stop procrastinating. Max, let's start by summarizing what we've learned so far.
Absolutely. Lena, over the past 9 chapters, we've covered so much. 1. Why we procrastinate and how to break the cycle. 2. Setting smart goals that don't overwhelm you. 3. Making English a part of your daily routine. 4. Using the 2-minute rule to just start. 5. Turning learning into a game to make it fun. 6. Finding accountability through study buddies or communities. 7. Embracing mistakes as a natural part of learning. 8. Visualizing your future self to stay motivated. And now, it's time to put it all into action.
Yes, the key to overcoming procrastination is to start small and stay consistent. So, let's create a simple, actionable plan that you can start today. Max, what's the first step?
The first step is to commit to just 5 minutes. That's it, just 5 minutes of English practice today. It could be listening to an English song, reading a short article, or even writing one sentence in your journal. The goal is to take that first step.
Yes, and here's a specific example. Today, I'll listen to one English song and write down 3 new words I hear. It's simple, but it gets you started. And once you start, you'll often find yourself doing more.
Exactly, and here's another idea. Today, I'll watch a 2-minute clip from an English movie or TV show and try to repeat one sentence. It's fun, it's easy, and it's a great way to practice pronunciation.
Love that! And if you're feeling a bit more ambitious, you could try, today, I'll have a 5-minute conversation in English with a friend or language partner. Even if it's just a quick chat, it's a step forward.
Yes, and here's the key: track your progress. Use a notebook, an app, or even a sticky note to mark each day you practice. Seeing that streak grow can be incredibly motivating.
Absolutely. And don't forget to celebrate your wins. Did you practice for 5 minutes today? That's a win. Did you learn a new word? That's a win. Every small step counts.
And here's one more tip: plan for tomorrow. At the end of today's practice, decide what you'll do tomorrow. It could be as simple as, tomorrow, I'll listen to a podcast for 5 minutes. Having a plan makes it easier to stay consistent.
Yes, and remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's progress. Even if you only practice for 5 minutes today, that's 5 minutes closer to your goal than you were yesterday.
So, let's hear from you. What's one small step you'll take today to stop procrastinating and start practicing English? Share it in the comments, and let's hold each other accountable.
And don't forget to grab the free resource we mentioned earlier. It includes a daily action plan template and a progress tracker to help you stay on track.
All right, that's it for Chapter 10 and for this series. We hope these tips help you stop procrastinating and start making real progress in your English learning journey.
Yes, remember, every big goal starts with a small step. So, what are you waiting for? Take that first step today, and let's make it happen.
Thanks for joining us on the English Podcast Circle. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep believing in yourself. You've got this.